Yo, guys, what's going on? Welcome to the Traders Reality Crypto Projections channel, episode 40. 40 episodes, man. 40 projections, and it has been an interesting ride throughout the whole process. All right, but let me just get straight to it, guys. Okay, so considering what happened yesterday, allow me to just get rid of these zones right here. All right. Bitcoin yesterday performed absolutely perfectly. All right. Now, what we need to understand is this. We anticipated from last night's stream, all right, that Bitcoin would come back to recover some of the vector candles, and she has done just that. So flip over to the 15-minute time frame. You will see that the vectors from yesterday, so we zoom in, you will see vectors 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5 had all been recovered in last night's Asian session, and it's working on today's UK session also. Price has come back down to the 800 EMA. Very important zone in the chart, because it was at this point that it tested the 800 EMA last time, where it showed a consolidation. Now, if their intention is to keep sending price higher, anywhere that they consolidated where they had previously built orders will pretty much be mimicked in the future. So they're ideally going to start trying to look to this area as a potential place where they can build more orders. Now, granted, we've still got room till we come all the way down to the 33,834 zone. All right. So we do have this area which price can come down to, which was yesterday's, near enough yesterday's low, but it was actually in the UK session on Monday. All right. So the 33,834 is the absolute zone that support can come in for Bitcoin. However, if it does break this point, we will be seeing the vector candle to the left of the screen here, and price will be in and around the psychological high. So there will be an area of confluence in this zone. However, the retrace that happened last night was expected. Why? Because we always anticipate when price comes out of a W formation, all right, which is exactly what we were looking at here. You see the W formation right there, rise up, rise up. It's come out of the zone. It now needs to retrace back to the 50 EMA. This now would be deemed as the rise level 1. All right, so this confirms that this is the first level of the big W formation right here. By that token, that implies that we are now working on a rise level 2. So price needs to come back up ever so slightly. It needs to break out this point here, which will sit at the 36,631. And it needs to make traction to break above the 800 EMA. If it breaks above the 800 EMA, that would solidify that this is level 1, and we will be working towards level 2. So we will be waiting for price to top out and then pull back and then form a level 2 consolidation. So from this, we'll be waiting for it to come back down and consolidate in this zone, and then make its way to effectively hit higher ground. All right. Now, what we've got to understand is this is a big W formation. All right. It is a bigger pattern. So this might not be the rise level 1 that we're expecting. OK. However, it has come back to the 50 EMA, but it has broken it. But remember, the 50 EMA on the 1 hour time frame helps you identify cycles in the week. Whereas when you look at the higher time frame, when you've got the 4 hour time frame, which is the 50 EMA on the 4 hour, which is represented by the 200 EMA on the 1 hour time frame, all right, things are a little bit different. Okay, so where do we think Bitcoin's going to go? Well, on the principle of the cycles, all right, if you think at this W formation, the smaller pattern, okay, we've got rise level 1, drop, rise level 2, okay, pull back, rise level 3. Now we should be working at a little mini M formation up here, which has appeared. All right, a smaller M has appeared up there, which has now brought price back down. Okay, so we could get a cycle rise, retrace, which brings us down into this point, and we could see a little bit of a peak formation down here on the principle that they don't hold this zone. All right, but if it does hold this zone and moves higher, we need to have a clear break of the 800 EMA before we can even consider anything. All right, because people can get trapped and buy as it breaks out of this point, which would then form an M formation, and then drop down further and potentially come back and test the psychological high and even the psychological low. All right, which would then on the bigger time frame would be effectively the third touch for an inverted head and shoulders pattern. Okay, so is this little move to the upside deemed as a bullish, although I don't like even saying that, is it deemed as a bullish move to the upside? In other words, is everyone's sentiment about Bitcoin now favorable? I mean, look at the plethora of news that came out yesterday about how many people are endorsing Bitcoin, who's getting involved. The interbank exchange is now being created for institutional fund managers, you know, to trade Bitcoin. How great is that? That just means more liquidity. So naturally, that would encourage price to rise. Okay? But before they decide to let it rise, they're going to want to try and get it as cheap as they physically can, because when they break, they will break. That's the beauty of it. But before anything happens, guys, it needs to break the 800 EMA before anything happens. Whatever it does now is irrelevant. Why? Because if we're going to favor higher prices, Bitcoin needs to break the 800 EMA on the 1 hour time frame, which is the 50 EMA on the 4 hour time frame. So important that it does that. All right. So projection points are, if Bitcoin does break the 800 EMA, we will be looking at towards this zone, 38,822, sorry. We then have this next projection point, 39,882, and then we have this projection point up here, which is the big 41,372. Now, from yesterday's video on the projections channel, if you go and watch it, you would have noticed that we hit near enough every projection point called on that channel on the video yesterday. If you look at XRP yesterday, we were talking about that projection point. It hit it and it came straight back. And the beautiful thing is this. Look at the precision of the vector candles. Look at the pin right there. You can see ever so slightly. I'll just zoom in for it. Look at this pin. That pin finished there. Yeah? Watch this. I'm going to draw a green line right at the tip of it. And look where that green line finishes. Frightening. Yes or no? Is that not frightening? The reason why that is important is because this is where market makers had built longs previously. On the 21st of June, they had built longs. Okay? And they sent price lower and lower and lower. Then price came all the way back up to recover those longs. They built a few more. And then they started shifting out of the zone, and bang, they recovered the full aspect of that vector candle. And now we're waiting to see where she turns next. All right. Isn't it unbelievable how that happened? Next projection point is the 80 point, 0.804 XRP. XRP has actually got a decent sized W formation. It's showing strength. This looks like a rise level 1, a smaller rise level 1, because if you look closer, you can see a mini W formation right here. All right, so you've got rise level 1, drop, rise level 2, no consolidation. So this will be a level 2 for this little move here. But this could also be the bigger rise level 1 out of this bigger pattern. So it's always interpretation of, you know, at that moment in time, what can you make of it? All right. If you have a conviction about it, you pay to play. That's the nature of the game. All right. And always, as always, guys, remember, when you're trading, all right, let me flip over to Ethereum for a second. When you're trading, always add confluences to help you make an understanding behind your reasoning for making an entry. All right. And also consider the fact that you may have loads of confluences and the trade might not work out. That's fine. It's okay if it doesn't work out in your favor. That's just variance. It's like no different in poker. You've got a pair of aces. Statistically, you've got the best hand in the game pre-flop. Okay? You then go to shove pre-flop, for example, and the board comes out, the flop turns, and you see that you've got just a pair of aces. Jack 4-6 comes out. The turn hits another 3. The river hits a 5. There's nothing out there other than potentially a straight draw. The chances of you actually losing are quite minimal. And then the guy flips over 3 of a kind jacks. Okay? So that's variance. Statistically, you were ahead pre-flop with your aces and his jacks. Okay? So that's variance. Because 80% of the time, aces are going to win. Yeah? 80% of the time when price is following the cycle, it's going to continue with that cycle. So by the principle of Ethereum, you've got this big W formation coming into play right now. We've got the pullback to the 50 EMA, and Ethereum is actually performing much better technically than Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is the volatile one. It's crazy. It's the loony. All right, it's broken the 50 EMA on the 1 hour time frames, trying to now show support at the 200. And then you look at Ethereum, it's not even broken the 50 and it's actually trading above it. That's good news for Ethereum. So, and the fact that the red vector candles right here are pinning lower and not going down tells me that they are going to be pushing Ethereum back up. So the next projection point for Ethereum will be in and around the 800 EMA. But what it does after that, here, oh God, look at these zones. Look at that. That's a zone right there for Ethereum for previous liquidity. And we've got this candle in this area here, which will act as potential liquidity, but very small amount of liquidity right there. Okay, cool. So on that basis, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to thank you all so far. Please make sure that you are watching the previous videos in this channel. They are designed to help you apply the information that I discuss in the streams. All right, short 10-minute videos just to help you get that information and set you up about your day. Okay, all right then, guys, listen, thank you so much for tuning in. My name's Tino. Welcome to the Traders Reality Crypto Projections. Mad love and peace, guys. Take care.